name is Chrissy Clements. Everyone watches accesstv.org.
Welcome to another series of Education One. This week we have a mover and shaker out of Hartford City Hall. His name is Troy Stewart. He is the Superintendent of Recs, and I got him right next to me. Good morning.
It's great to be here.
We've been knowing each other a long time.
Right.
Tell the viewers exactly who you are, how you got to where you have to be, and where you want to go with your department in the city of Hartford.
Well, first of all, I'm in the Department of Family, Children, Youth, and Recreation. We started the department just merged together basically a year and a half now ago. We were under Health and Human Services, and then we were under Human Services, and then we were Parks and Recreation Department. So we've been through many different stages inside our wonderful path to where we are now. The thing that a little bit about me basically is that I'm a longtime Hartford resident, lived here all my life, started in the city of Hartford as an intern and worked my way up to Superintendent of Recreation. It took a long, it wasn't as easy.
That's a big leap. That's a big leap.
No, it wasn't as easy, but I have to say is that it was a learning experience, and I would never take that back from anything that I have done. I love the city. This is a great place to live. This is a great place to play. This is a great place to work. We have so many great things here, and we meet so many good people.
Now, let me ask you, I have to call you Mr. S, because the thing about it is just that, again, as I said earlier, it's been a great leap from where you started at, where we met years ago, to where you are now. I'm very proud of you, because the thing about it is, one thing that I will tell the viewers, you never lost who you was, and you never actually stepped back on you or what you was going to say. That's the respectability between you and I, and because it's a big thing in Hartford that that has to be. That's the foundation of actual respectability and people keeping their word. Give me some examples, say within the last year, of what MC Squared did with truancy and dropout. Some of the kids that came across your desk, and you had to go out and help, if you had to help at all.
Well, basically, we're restructuring the way that we do our recreation. Recreation have 5 centers that are located across the city. We have 2 multi-centers, which have a pool, gym, and all the other nice trappings in there. And the other 3 smaller ones just have like classrooms and game rooms and things like that. The thing that we've been grappling is, how do we deal with individuals out in the community that are lost, in a sense. And one way that we looked at it was opening up our centers early and also opening up our centers later. When we talk about that, we also talk about dealing with sort of a informal mentoring type of program, where basically they come into our centers and they have issues. And when they're willing to talk, because they choose to come to where we are, and once they have a conversation with us, we try to, depending on what the issue may be, sometimes we can resolve it ourselves, but most of the time we refer them to other people so that they can get help. And also we tell them to continue coming where they are at, so that we can monitor and help them and give them more encouragement to continue doing whatever it is that they're having their deficiencies in. So it's a combination of all different types of things. We're very fortunate because we deal with all ages. So we deal from 0 all the way to death.
Okay.
And Also, what happens is that when we have young people who are having problems in reading, or if we have a young person who did something against the law that
Right.
wasn't right, but want to redeem themselves, we try to find ways to help them, get reacclimated into the community in a better light. And also, we have seniors who are participating in some of the programs that we have. They help in encouraging, and also some of them are former police officers or firefighters, whatever they may be. That helps us out to guide them.
So you're saying that your branch is linked with the mayor's department,
Yes,
is linked with children and family,
yes.
DCF, is linked with foster care.
Well, we're linked with all those individuals in different ways, but we're not totally linked. We're a resource. We give them resources. We have a
Okay.
family center that's located inside Parker Memorial Center,
Right.
which deals with a lot of. We do most of the referrals over to them because they're more so can take care of when it comes down to real serious matters.
Right.
So they can investigate and everything. That's not what we. That's
Really
not
do.
what we really do. But we have an outlet of guiding people to the right direction so that they get the help that they need.
Now, if a company like MC Square
Mm-hmm.
want to come and says, hey, we want to be partners or collaboration, how can we go about that?
Well, it's basically having a conversation with myself and the director and just coming up with, parameters. It's best that, because we have so many different things that are happening inside our center. We cannot just say we're going to exclusively have you inside there. You have
Right.
to know that there are other people who use the center as well. And we just have to give respect to the people who are inside there as well as doing your program. One of the things that are very helpful is that when we have many different programs going on inside the center, people peek in and say, ooh, what's going on over
Right,
there? We
right.
might want to be a part of
Right.
that program.
Okay.
That helps out a lot as
Right.
well. So we just want to make sure that we give the community the opportunity to use our building, but we just don't want to exclusively give it to one particular organization so that they can say, we're here and you can't use it. So that's what we will have a conversation.
I'm going to touch upon some things, and I'm not going to try to put you on the spot, but do your department have all the resources that you need, or you still trying to build up more resources to cover all the programs?
Well, right at this time, we are as you know, we just merged, so we're in the process of rethinking how we do things.
Okay.
It's not the question of us about resources now. It's the question of us, do we have the capability to do the service that we are deemed to do?
Right.
And that's what we're re-examining ourselves right at this time. You have to remember is that we've been through so many different changes in the course of 15 years. We've been through like 5 different departments in 15 years. This is the first time that we've been in a department that is telling us, hey, you have an opportunity to redefine yourself of how we can make these changes inside the community, and also giving us the resources, which we are. We're going through now more training than we ever have been in the past 15 years. We're going through more better understanding of what is the bigger picture and what is expected. We call it RBA, result-based accountability, that all of us, from the lowest person to the highest person, we have to be accountable. There are 3 areas that we are focusing on in recreation, and we call them the 3 pillars. Basically, is 1 is health and wellness, 2 we deal with conservation, and 3 we deal with public trust and accountability. So we're trying to look at the obesity situation. We're so involved in wondering why people aren't healthy,
Right.
educating them,
Right.
dealing with legislation on how we can better make our community a little bit better when it comes down to their health, eating,
Right.
community gardens, things like that.
Right.
We're looking at, we're trying to segment ourselves into areas that are more doable, and we can see results.
There's people that I know out there would like to come in and say that to volunteer. When I come to you or come to Stan McCauley or whoever I know, I feel I should give first before someone comes back and says, here's the reward. Now, can someone like myself come to you or your agency and says, look, I want to volunteer and help out? What can we do with that?
Well, definitely anybody's welcome, but the bottom line, because we have so many different changes in state, well, let me say federal, state, and city government, where we have to now have background checks on individuals, making sure, because we deal with young children, so they have other requirements that go along with it. Depending on what you want to do, it depends on what you have to go through, so that we can make sure we're not just sending anybody out into the field. And what is your skill base and whatever. We don't want you to. First of all, we have to make sure that we're securing the people who you're going to be volunteering with, and then the second thing, we want you to be in a win situation so that you're not doing something that you don't have any skill base in.
Right, because a lot of people in Hartford have came to me and says, I want to help out, I want to volunteer, but they're blocked at times, or it could be political, or it could be personal, because Hartford is actually a mixed bag. And we have to speak the truth. And I've said to many of the people that I have spoken to, I says, well, why don't you speak to this person and that person, because this person would be actually in the middle. As my mother used to say to me, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Right. So if you went to a person like Mr. Stewart, or again, if you went to someone like maybe Mayor Segar or someone like that, they're trying to find a way to try to do something, instead of like saying we cannot do it in the past of what City Hall used to be.
Well, I have to say is that this mayor has a different vision. He has a totally different vision. And I have to say the new director that we also have has a totally different vision as well. They both are in the same, and they have the same mission. And that's basically, we have to figure out how do we serve the people in the communities. We have to figure out what makes us better to provide whatever it is that they need. Right. The other thing too is that we have stuff that are bogged down that is out of our control when it comes down to legislation that we have to follow. You know, we have rules and regulations that we have to go through, but it doesn't mean that we have to stop there. We can find other alternatives that we can figure out how to make whatever you would like to do a win-win type of situation. It may not come today, tomorrow, but it will come into fruition. But you just have to be a little bit more patient depending on what the situation may be.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to stop right here for a minute. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back with the Superintendent of Recs, Troy Stewart, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Time went by that fast.
How do you judge a law firm's success? Cases won, money made, or what the firm does in the community? At Dressler Strickland, we know that success is just the beginning. The true measure of success is what you do with it. For 33 years, we've used our success to help our neighbors and our community. 24/7, 11/22. Whenever you need us, we'll be there. Dressler Strickland, building communities one case at a time.
First we read, then Cocoa Key. What time is it? Time to read!
It's always time to read. Make Education and Hartford Public Schools declare reading a team sport and award a fun-soaked celebration at Cocoa Key Water Resort to the school with the most books read. Your achievement level is displayed by Make Education Time to Read wristbands.
Motivate, stimulate, educate.
Make Education makes it fun. Puerto Rico Discovery Month. Did Columbus realize the enormity of his discovery? The art, the history, the literature, the people, the music. Puerto Rico Discovery Month. It's for everyone to enjoy.
Welcome back to Education One, our second part of Parks and Recs. We have a person here that I've been knowing for a number of years. He's the superintendent of Parks and Recs in Hartford. His name is Troy Stewart. And let me ask you, Mr. S. I always got to call you Mr. S because, like I said, I'm proud of you of the things that you have accomplished. What is the new diameter or parameters that you're going to be doing this coming year in 2013?
Okay. First of all, we're not Parks and Rec. We're Family, Children, Youth, and Recreation.
Okay.
Recreation is under Family, Children, and Youth, and Parks is under the Department of Public Works.
Okay.
We have a great conversations with each other, and we have a great rapport with one another. We have this network where the two department heads and plus myself and the deputy director of DPW work together to work on all the issues. Going into what you were saying, in 2013, we're still evolving. We're starting to see that our community, our society has changed. We have a big population of individuals who are underemployed, unemployed, or employed. We have a big population of families with younger children. So what we're concentrating more so on, how do we provide a service during the summertime to keep them active and keep them out of trouble, and make sure that when they go to any of our playgrounds or parks, it's like a destination, because they can't afford that trip that they normally could have probably in the past. More so, we're trying to figure out other ways to get them engaged into understanding the beauty of our parks and how to do more things in it. So going back to it is that basically we have, we're looking at changing hours and in the sense of opening up our playgrounds during the summer, probably if things work out right in our budget. You can probably open it up, instead of us opening up normally at the end of June, probably open it up more so probably in the beginning of June, because the schools start getting out earlier, and also giving parents and guardians the opportunity to also play with their child, inside the park with some type of structural activity. We're very fortunate. We're the only game in town when it comes down to pools, public pools in the city.
Right.
And basically we have a Learn to Swim program that we try to teach as many people as possible, from adults as well as children, how to swim. It's very important that our kids learn how to basically, one of the things that we're going to be pushing more than ever before is swimming. Because we have a high incidence of drownings, not here in the city of Hartford, but outside. Many of our kids go to these lakes and oceans and ponds somewhere outside, and because they don't know how to float or they don't know how to do the basics, they end up drowning.
In the pool and lakes and ponds is different, because in ponds and lakes you have undercurrent, and that can drag you down. As for pool, it's a different story. But coming back to swimming, if any youngster right now viewing this goes to a black university, before you leave, you have to take a class in swimming. It's required to take the class in swimming. And it's funny about it, because the thing about it is, we as a nation or a race do not actually know how to swim, because we live in the inner city. And the sad part about it is when you hear these things on TV, or like last summer, I think it was two Hispanics and a black person went somewhere in Farmington or Coventry, which they have beautiful lakes, end up dying. And it's sad to hear that during the summertime, or at the end of the summer, like Labor Day. And there's a lot of incidents in Labor Days that people go out and have the last hurrah before the summer's over and end up dying. So this is something that I'm glad you guys are really doing, because, again, as black and Latino people, they're sort of afraid of water.
Oh, definitely. And that's that's the other thing, that we have a program where we're concentrating on individual parents. One of the things that we're finding out is that when a young child want to jump in that pool real quickly, I don't care if they don't know how to swim or not, they see water, they want to jump in it. The parents like, no, we can't have you jump inside there. What we have to figure out, and which I'm very grateful for the great lifeguards that we have inside our in our program that are trained by the American Red Cross certification. We are very fortunate to have lifeguards that will take the parent and explain to the parent what is exactly happening, so the parent can calm down a little bit. And also we try to see if we can get the parent to come in and put a bathing suit on one time out of the lesson, so that they can be with the child while they're learning, and see if they will actually try to put their head into the water. We try to get that fear out of the parent as much as possible, because the parent influences a child, but also a child influences a parent.
They have a program in Greenwich at the YMCA in downtown off of East Putnam Avenue, and they made a Olympic-sized pool. And now they're building a super basketball court. They took out the tennis court. It was a big rigmarole on that. But the thing about these guys play basketball. These guys, if we get about tennis, we play basketball. But the program they have is actually taking a child, they're actually 6 months to a year, holding them, sticking their head on the water and bring them back up to make sure. So the fear factor is gone. Now, I don't know if you're going to play it that way or whatever. Greenwich is basically super rich. It's basically white.
Well,
but the thing about it is, our whys here has actually changed. And I'm not saying all the whys should be the same, but the thing about it is, the focus of some of what they do has actually went to the side.
Well, I think that the question comes down. The YMCA right now has they don't have a pool anymore, so that's I'm talking about in Hartford.
In Hartford, right? Exactly, right.
So that's one of the things that they lack right at this time.
Right.
I think that their mission is the same, but because of where they are located, they're trying to reacclimate themselves on what is the needs and how they can reassess things.
Right.
And they're going through changes just like everybody else is going through changes.
Right.
So you just got to give them a little time to catch up. Because
Well,
you got to give them a little time to catch up.
I see James Morton a lot. I see James Morton a lot. He's a big guy. He's like 6'3", 6'4". So he's not like a guy you'll argue with. But the thing about it is, I do speak to him. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Mr. M. And he did come from another land, I call it, another part of the Midwest to where it is now, and he wants to do things different, which is really thinking out of the box. So I'm pretty sure, in back of his mind, because he's a thinker,
right?
He's an attorney, but a thinker, and he's saying, "Geez, Sam and other people keep coming at me. What can we do to make this thing happen like yourself?" Because you guys do listen. That's what I love about you guys. It's not like you say, "Well, I'm going to chump you off." You guys do listen and say, "Well, if Sam is saying it, or Stan is saying it, or Chris Lane is saying it, it must be true."
Well, that's what it comes down to: public trust and accountability.
Right.
We in our department, in our division, basically we have to work at that. It's hard, but believe me, you don't know how hard it is.
I'm sure.
Because you're a professional inside this industry, and then next thing you know, you're hearing from the community saying you're not doing it right, and you're like, huh? That question mark, what do you mean we're not doing it right? We thought we were doing it right. And then you have to realize you have to back up. And then you say to yourself, wait a minute. What we are reading and what we're gauging and what we're looking at, the statistics and all the other stuff, is one thing. But the actuality of it, is it producing what it needs to produce for the community to feel comfortable with it? And they wouldn't be coming to you if it wasn't. Something that needs. So we're working at that. That's something that we all work at. The YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, all of us are working at that because this is a new environment.
Right.
There's a serious new environment out there, and it's a good thing. It's a challenging thing, and people in our profession now have to really think because there's no more, how it used to be.
Right.
It's more so now is that you have to think, strategize, and talk to all different types of communities to make things work.
Let me ask you a question, and this is just a quick hit on statistics. In a given summer, how many kids do you normally deal with?
In a given summer, we deal in a given summer close to 300,000 people.
Okay.
I'm not going to say people because on a given 2 months.
Because there's really no range.
We can break it. I can break it down if I need to go by age, but I can't go by age. I can go by categories of age, like from between the ages of 8 to 12 or 13. 13 to 17. I can break it down that way, but I can't break it down into how many 8 years old or how many 12. I mean, I can do that. We have statistics, but that would take me forever to do. But see, the thing that we have that is different from many of the other places is that we are a free service to the community.
Okay.
And what happens is that we cannot distinguish between when people, what happens is that you have family members. We have a lot of different types of families now. And when you have grandparents taking care of their grandkids who live in Rocky Hill, or when you have a mother and father who are divorced, but the kid lived with them during the summertime. I mean, we have so many different, our statistics of individuals go up during the summertime because we have more people inside the city. Then also we have buses that just show up at our pools or just show up at our parks. We don't ask any questions due to the fact that, it could be a Hartford, we don't know, but still we have to accommodate for them coming inside there, so that's why our statistics are so high. So, because just for example, say if you have a field trip and one of the organizations is having the field trip and it just didn't go through right, they'll send them to one of our local pools, so we have like 60 more kids on top of the 150 kids that are already there on top of the camp program that has 300 kids. I mean, so we added more kids to the program. So that's why our numbers start going up. Which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I know that if you're looking at 300 individuals, regardless of what age they are, it must be astronomical in funding.
Well, basically, we try our best to. So we have camp programs that are across the city. So we try our best to make sure that everyone is equal in what we do. Some camps specialize in other things than other camps do because we you just can't have the same camp doing the same thing because everybody's interests are different. But the bottom line, our playground programs just we're basic arts and crafts. We just do the basic. We just do the basics so that we can work with everybody. But when it comes to our camp program, we specialize in drama or literature or something like that makes them more come alive and stuff like that.
I'm going to ask you one more question because we're sort of like running out of time. All the programs you have during the summertime, I just keep it to the summertime because I know you have winter programs.
Yeah.
The evaluation on it, how's the things evaluated?
Well, basically we do it like three ways. First thing, we have the beginning of what is the expectation. We ask the parents what do they expect on a camp program, swim programs, anything that we have registration for. We ask what is your expectations for this program? What do you want to see? We explain what we're going to give them, but we want to hear what they want to see, what their expectations are. Then we do a mid evaluation, like mid through say if we got an 8-week program, put on the 4th week, we do an evaluation then seeing are we where we're supposed to be at for ourselves. Then we ask the parents, do they feel the same way? Then we give progress reports to, may it be a basketball league, whatever it may, we give progress reports to the kids or whoever it may be. So, and then at the end, then we do the end evaluation where the parents, kids, all can put in what they feel or what they would like not to see next time or whatever. So we do an overall evaluation. Then at the end, we do our own summary where we meet and we just talk about each particular area and try to figure out, okay, this is what the complaints are. These are what we're doing good. This is what we need to improve. This is what we might have to delete next time because it's not working. So we look at all that.
Well, I tell you right now, I'm excited about it because from my point and how we discussed over the years, we're doing some other things ourselves outside of Hartford. But for you in the last couple of months, keeping you up to date of something we're doing, I said to Stan and a few other people that it would be good if Troy came and sit on the advisory board when the time he has to look at what we're doing somewhere else. And we can mimic in Hartford because Hartford is the capital, it's the largest, and we have the most people of the whole 169 towns. But we're out of time, and I wish we can actually talk some more on this. You wouldn't believe it. This is something that I'm glad that you came. I know you're a busy guy. I know that I know right now that your phone was blowing up on break. I know probably your boss is looking for you. Say at least with Sam on Education One.
But no,
but
I have to say it's a great opportunity. Anytime you want me to come back and anything that I can support, I'll definitely. We're here to listen. That's our job. We're here to listen and figure out if we're doing something wrong. Let us know. I mean, we want to hear it. That's our job. If you're saying, if we're doing something right, make sure you tell us too.
All right, my brother. All right. That's another week of Education One. Please tune in next week. We have a mover and shaker that actually, her name is attorney Josephine Miller. She was one of the architects of actually redesigning Bridgeport school system. You can find me on the internet, or you can give me a call at 860-212-8164, or you tune into Education One. You can email me at mc2nets@yahoo.com. Have a blessed one. See you next week.